Hello! The most unlocked cat girl on Battlefield 6 is back, and I hope you're all doing well. I don't. So, this is why we're playing Battlefield today. Don't know what to do. Don't know how to feel. I kinda want to scream into a pillow. So, time to take out my frustrations with virtual violence. And I'm not good at, fighting games, so, you know. Might as well. Okay. Sorry if I'm a bit concentrated right now. Just a lot going on recently, and I'm really feeling a bit, just a bit weird. Oh, yeah. I should definitely put that grenade thing down again. Okay. I do hope everyone has a good day though. Well, there we go. Been just a lot that happened recently. Like, I mean, fuck, everything just kind of went a bit to shit. The video games also aren't not that enjoyable right now, which is kind of annoying. Okay. Can some people, you know, just throw grenades at this point? Hello. This is a juicy point. Don't you want to kill enemies? Why are the attackers... That's the problem with some of these assignments. It's like, oh yeah, do something that makes complete sense, but you need to... But then you get into the worst rounds possible. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the maximum is 2. Okay, good. There we go. Yeah, I didn't look at those actually. Oh god, it's sniper. Why? Yes, I had to endure some pain. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I really don't have a lot of stuff. I don't know what to talk about right now. There's a lot. Like, for example, how fucking annoying AI is right now, how much it's being pushed, but also how much it's just failing as well. So this isn't like, you know, I feel like it is self-defeating with time, which is probably good news. But, yeah. It's still annoying. At least there are good news in terms of MasterCard and such, you know, after they try to be, you know, basically illegal assholes. People are now flooding again their lines, and you should too. It's holiday season now. You know, really bad when their lines are clogged after you know, especially after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and now, you know, going into Christmas. Definitely unfavorable. So yeah, call some payment processors if you can. They won't appreciate it, but you know, again, don't be hostile to people in the you know, don't be hostile to the people taking the call. It's about clogging up the lines. Not, you know, being an asshole. I know that happens too many times that people, you know, feel in such moments they can actually go and, you know, oh, I have the green, you know, the blank check to be an asshole this time because evil cop. No, the people working there are people working there. Don't be assholes to them. Just literally make their business as hard as possible to do. That is the idea. In fairness, I don't think they have had experienced that enough, so yeah. Make that hard for them. But yeah, at least that's one thing. Like, I do think a lot of payment processes are just, like, there needs to be regulation. Let's just be very clear here. I do think as long as we live in a society we should actually, you know, we live in a society where, you know, money exchange is kind of the major way of doing anything. I do think as long as we live in that kind of society, the people that process the money should just, you know, not have a say who gets the money and who gets to have money for what. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. There we go. I say, I think I'm not as shit with the sniper in this game as in other titles. If you're also wondering why do I play like it, that's how you played it back in at Company 2. ACOG, get close, because back then snipers actually had a one-shot kill range when you got close, so yeah, it was actually much more about, you know, yeah, people said back in the back and were like, I'm going to hit the head and get like a headshot and one-shot kill on range. I'm like, yeah, sure. Or you play the one class that can actually spot and have insertion beacons, and you take the one gun that take the gun class that they can use, and go up close and shoot people dead. I missed that. That was fun. Like, it's kind of weird that you know, bolt action rifles just, like, why do you do it so that, oh yeah, at a random range they deal, you know, one-shot body shot damage, but for some reason we don't do, oh yeah, no, up close they do one-shot body shot damage if you're good at you know, hitting people and like, yeah, that would be sensible. That would be better than whatever the fuck is going on right now. God. You know, can I just say that while this is something that, you know, I kind of knew and, you know, kind of just everyone knows, and it's just like, yeah, obviously that's how it is. Some people are just, like, straight garbage. Absolute trash humans, you know? Behave like pieces of shit. Complete crap. And then I just sit there being like, we really do not prosecute that kind of behavior more, and it's frustrating. Otherwise, God. Otherwise, we would just have probably a better society overall. No. As long as some people have just a little bit of charisma, they can just get away with a lot of bullshit. People are never... I feel, as, you know, as individual, like, as a group of people, I don't think there's too much of a sense of, oh, we need to keep the peace, instead of, no, maybe we should burn some shit down. I don't think we need that energy again to just wanting to burn some shit down. Sorry if I'm just ranting a bit. The personal stuff happens, and I'm angry. And what else is there to say? You know what's good though? Tea. Tea is good, and and for everyone who's a bit younger, here's some life advice. Find the right person in your life. Like, you're probably gonna hear like, oh, but what about love and everything? Here's the thing, the right person in your life is the one you want to spend your days with. And that doesn't mean, you know, oh, constant high and up. You can scream at each other, you can hate each other, but the moment you still know you do want to have that person near you the next day, don't fucking lose them. But also, if you do not feel that, just end it. By the way, this can be more than one person, but like, be careful to have a person in your life that you can actually rely on. And also, find someone that is honest with you. Because if you have, because if they, you know, if you don't tell someone from time to time something because, you know, embarrassment or, you know, stuff like that, that's fine. Everyone has that from time to time, okay? But like, and even if you sometimes just, as long as you talk in the end, okay? But you need to have the will to want to be together with someone and also work through the problems. And if you have that one, You can get through so much more bullshit in life. Because there are a lot of people out there who will not behave like that, who will just try to take advantage of you, who will say stuff like, oh, that's not how you should behave. If you're in a relationship, okay, you set the boundaries. And if that includes that another person can just sometimes maybe be a bit rude or scream at you or just tell you to your face that you're a stupid idiot, that might be okay if they're actually honest, because, hey, a rude and honest person that just tells you stuff straight to your face is probably better than a nice person that just keeps bottling up bullshit. You'll never know who's the right person for you. Sometimes you will, sometimes you will think, that person is weird. And that weird person can be the right one for another person. But genuinely just find someone that is honest and there. Because if you don't, life's just harder than it should be. Because sometimes you have times like, times where it just doesn't work. Where you're like, yeah, this sucks. You want to do more, you can't. You feel washed out. And I do hope you have someone that you can look, you can look to your left or look to your right and you see them. And just their existence makes you smile. And that is the person you need to find. And trust me, those are the people you should keep in your life, because you will not have anyone else. I know people always say blood ties and stuff. No, blood ties don't mean anything. Family is who you choose. So choose very wisely. It doesn't even need to be a relationship. If you have a good friend, or you're just someone you can trust, their family. Anyway, old hack mode off. I hope you learned something today. This is needed to get out, I feel. There we go. Finally, I have this bullshit done. But yeah. Also, check in on the people you like, you know? That's just another small thing. But like, seriously. I could do, no. You never know when it's too late. Sorry if I'm getting like all philosophical and a bit dark right now, but just a lot going on, you know? So I'm just thinking loudly to a degree. Nice. Our projectile destroyed. Also, I realized I really can't look at the Steam overlay. Apparently it's showing now on OBS. Why? I don't know. It's very fun. But yeah, a few other things. I will do the final and all the endings in Lunacid. Problem. Some items I literally cannot get right now. I just can't. It's not doable. I don't want to be oh hey, I just changed some stuff. I want to play the game quote unquote intended. So I legitimately have to make an extra stream next Friday for that. Which is ironic. Hopefully it will work out though. Because I want to do something else in December, and I know the last time I did that, it was very popular. I know this one is going to be very draining. So, oh yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm like, let me just check again when it is. It's Sunday, Monday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days a week this time only. Damn. You know, if it's not going too slow and I'm deciding to just, eat. Chill mental status again. Yeah. Yeah, how's everyone else going into... Well, basically going into the Christmas period now, because tomorrow is the first wait, is Advent a thing in the Anglosphere? I know, you know, at least here everyone is like, oh yeah, it's the first Advent. Advent is the second Advent, third. You know, we got all four. They're always, you're not a big, but they're a thing that you can mention, and you know, you have your candles to light. You have your songs to sing. All that stuff, it's there. Also, I guess this time to remind the relatives that they shouldn't fucking put that much, they shouldn't send up this much sugary treats over, because it's too much. It's like, you know what? You know what? I feel like this is like a general conspiracy by relatives, because every fucking year they come and are like, oh, here is a whole, you know, here's a big batch of like, you know, how's it called? Pepper cakes? Lebkuchen in English? But you know, there's just like, there's cookies, there's gingerbread, there's chocolate. Actually, yeah, what is Lebkuchen in English? Gingerbread. Okay, it's also gingerbread. Oh my god, there's just more gingerbread.
But there's no ginger in gingerbread.
Sometimes there is, actually.
Oh.
But also ginger was, you know, one of those things you imported.
Looks like Pfefferkuchen.
Yeah, Pfefferkuchen. It's just spice. And yeah. Basically, they just send you that over, and then, you know, maybe you visit a bit after the holidays, you just want to say hello, and you know what? Then they walk up to you. They say, hi! Stop. Look down at you. You've gotten fat. Well, whose fault is that? It's like, I don't know. You know, you're sending 2 people like sweet rations to feed an entire battalion, and then you're like, well, why did you gain weight? I don't know. Maybe because of the things you sent me. But why didn't you? I don't know. Why don't people want to not throw away food? It's a mystery. And let me tell you, I love me some gingerbread. There's really fucking good gingerbread out there. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm down for some good gingerbread. But enough is enough. There's just, like, if I have, like, 1 box of quality gingerbread where I can, like, eat 1 or so each, every 2 days or so, I'm happy. I'm fine. I like this. Take what you can carry. But, like, I'm sorry. That is just like, no, you need at least 3 chocolate Santa Clauses. No! I don't need 3 chocolate Santa Clauses. You know what the best, the best ending for those chocolate Santa Clauses is going to be, I will bake them into a cake or cookies. Just turn them into something you can better store, for longer and eat, because a lot of them are just not high quality chocolate, so you don't want to eat like who's eating them aside from children anyway? Like whole. They're shit to eat because they're not even like one solid thing you eat, like a chocolate bar. They're like chocolate in a... It's hollowed chocolate, so it has mass and it's weird to break. You can't really bite into them. It's not the best chocolate anyway. And then they're just like, well, here just a bunch of them. Like, okay, cool. I won't eat that right now because I'm not that much in the mood to just eat raw chocolate all the time. So again, best case scenario, they land in the cookies. Worst case scenario, they land in the bin. Like a lot of sweets. Because after some time, you're just like, oh, fuck you, we still have those sweets and we can't eat them anymore. God. I hope you understand me, right? Like, there's a lot of very tasty, very fatty Christmas stuff, and I'm very much in favor for that. But the best place to eat all of them is at a Christmas market. Where else would you like to eat stuff like Schmalzkuchen? Huh? You go at a Christmas market, you buy one bag, and then this is the hack. So listen up, everyone. If you don't want to get fat over the holidays, again, you buy stuff like that and you share it with people. If you have one person already, suddenly all those kilocalories in that bag of sweet treats is halved, and you can still eat the bag, and it feels nice because you're probably like, wait, but don't I want to eat the whole bag? No. Here is it how you need to stay smart. You need to outsmart your inner monkey brain urges. See, monkey brain. Okay, monkey brain is simple. Monkey brain sees big paper bag of sweet treats. Monkey brain thinks, ooh, lots of sweet treats. Monkey brain doesn't think it's that many amounts of sweet treats are bad. Monkey brain, but if you then share that bag, monkey brain thinks, ooh, you still ate a lot of, the whole bag of sweet treats, so it's happy that it's, not wasted food. But also, crucially, it thinks, you've probably eaten more than you actually did, and then, also crucially, you shared it with someone. And that makes monkey brain happy. I mean, okay, if you, except if you're maybe an egocentrical piece of shit, then monkey brain method might just work half, but still, be good to your monkey brain. There's no diet other than get some, get some fitness and a work in. Not even that much. Again, just take a walk every day and you will be happy. Also, finally... Finally also silenced. Silence. you next. I guess we start with that guns today. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. You know, by the way, ever thought about how funny anti-projectile weaponry is? Because you probably think, oh, it's probably some high-tech stuff, and like, you know, that's true. It is to a degree true. Like active protection systems, or against rockets or grenades. To a degree, it is relatively high-tech. And to a degree, no, it's fucking not. Like, okay, fun fact. Basically, oh, you want to defend against a rocket. You basically only need a computer system that, a camera that is like scanning your surroundings. And then when a rocket comes, here's the thing, rockets have heat and electrical signals. So you basically only need sensors to be like, yeah, that's roughly looks like a rocket. And then it aims the active protection system. And you're like, oh, but what does it do? Like, what is it? The answer is it's a big shotgun. I mean, what the fuck did you expect against rockets? This is not even sarcastically like... Yeah. It's just an auto aimed shotgun, which is kind of hilarious if you think about it. Yeah, well. Honestly, I like this gun. It's really kind of a... That. Picks are hard.
Can help you talk when I'm back.
Oh, that would be lovely. Oh, hey, Jun. Oh, yeah. I think, actually, when it comes to, you know, when it comes to, too much shoot getting sent over, I feel we have actually, we've actually had it, to degree a bit worse, even. You know, because you see, my parents sent over stuff, and Agonia's parents are divorced, so her father and her mother sent over stuff. We already told her father, don't. Just, please, don't. But, yeah. It is kind of universal, I would say. Which is ironic. But yeah, I still need to tell my parents to just like, no, 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 we are fine. We don't need more. You know? I really think it is a bit universal. And it's always the... Again, I like a lot of Christmas treats, but there is a thing that is... There's so much as... too much. You know what the worst part is? Because I do think it's especially worse at Christmas. Because you can actually get... there's a lot of treats that you can only, like, really get bought. Like, some gingerbread stuff. You wouldn't make that at home. I wouldn't, at least. And at least living in Germany, I would say, most of it is pretty good. So, you know, you kind of run into the problem of, oh, you can just easily buy stuff, and it's relatively shelf stable, and it's pretty good. And suddenly, a lot of parents are just like, oh, what a perfect idea. They will be so happy about it. And then you're like, I have this 3 times now. Help. Like, do some more personal stuff, I'd say. Honestly, some cultures, they have figured it out way more than we do. Like mooncakes, for example. Much smarter. First of all, you can actually make mooncakes relatively easily yourself. You know, you just basically need to have like a good form to, you know, press them, and that's like, yeah, sure. Like, I actually think about maybe trying my hands on them, you know, this/next year. Because it is basically just, you know, you shape, then you make dough, you wrap dough, you shape, and then you bake. But also, big important thing. Mooncakes are very small. You can actually also make mooncakes, you know, with a lot of different fillings. So they don't only need to be sweet. So, you know, that means you can actually gift to people a thing you did in relatively small quantities. And you can actually dose how much sugar there is in it. Oh wait, that's a great thing to hand around, I would say. No, why you don't dare? Okay, so how do you want to help my predicament?
Just that I will try to help you now that I'm back.
Ah.
Do you see how much I'm trying to help you?
Frankly, not really, because I'm looking at a different monitor, but
But that's your fault.
it was kind of necessary to do, actually. Okay, you're really helping a lot.
Yeah, also I have something in my eye.
Yeah, I see. It kind of ruins the appearance.
You took too long.
I'm sorry, but it was very adorable. Are you fine?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just need to rub a bit.
Rub it in.
No, rub it out.
Actually, yes.
Out. I have too many eyelashes. It's terrible.
Your eyelash production is insane.
I don't know why. But oh. So. You wanna help talking? How about I just talk about what I'm thinking?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm thinking about all the different games I could be playing and the fact that I have no motivation to actually start playing them.
That is horrifying and horrible.
It's horrifying. It's
What?
I guess it's just a bit of depression.
Fair point. I mean, what games could you play?
I could either make a new playthrough or finish my playthrough of Case of Good.
You've gotten really far in there, actually.
Yeah. It's not hard. The game for a roguelike is comparatively easy if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that is probably the most interesting thing about Caves of Good, that it's like very much in the arcane difficulty selection, I would say.
To a degree.
Like, I'm going out here on a limb, okay? But I'd say Caves of Good is kind of the end form of what Dark Souls actually wants to be. As
Kind
in, yeah, because like a lot of difficulty in Dark Souls is not from the combat itself, but you know, from what you make with the stuff you find and make your way through the world with that.
Plus lots of in Case of Good especially, lots of optional side content.
Yeah.
Which can be either really useful or really deadly.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I would say something like Tome is actually...
Tome is harder.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone trying to beat Tome on the highest difficulty, do you know how fucking old Tome is? Like,
Pretty old, actually, from what I remember.
yeah. Tome 4 was released 2012. That's the fourth version of this, because before that it was kind of a fan Lord of the Rings game, but then the people who own the license sued because they're assholes, and now we have racist halflings.
Nice. That feels almost like a spite move.
Maybe. But like even now, okay, you can download it for free, and I think you have pretty much everything except the expansions and stuff. But on Steam, highest difficulty, like roguelike insane, I think. 0.2%, I think, did it.
That's not a lot.
And that's just talking about, yeah, certain things. There's post-game content.
I'm binging Idle Classics, so continue for a long time. I mean, I don't know anything about those, but that's good to have something. Yeah.
Luckily, I do not have choice paralysis. Oh, luckily. Technically, choice paralysis is easier for me to solve. I have motivation to do anything. Problems.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I decided I want to have pain for December.
Why?
Because I want to start a new project tomorrow instead of finishing up Lunacy, because I can't finish up Lunacy tomorrow. Because certain things I need for some ending, I can only grab during a full moon, so that's next Friday. So there's gonna be a special hour or two, depending on how much of doing that. So, hell yeah. But tomorrow, something new. But new. I still want to tease a bit, you know. I can't just say out loud what I want to do. But maybe some people will know.
Some people will know. It's
Some
still
peo-
weird that you call it pain. I thought you had fun.
I had fun, but it can also be, especially in the beginning, a bit frustrating until you get over like the first hill. And I'm still
Unless you use the gameplay system completely and not like
shut up.
40% of it.
Shut up. Also, like I'm still kind of deciding on what to do, but we'll see. We'll see. Nice. But yeah, Tome is hard. You know what I find interesting though? Despite everything, I liked playing Tome more.
Home has better graphics, I guess.
No, it's just also nicer to play with.
True, to some degree.
This is a very personal thing because I know how you know, if you get actually into the control scheme of Caves of Kut, and also as you said, it's actually not that hard as long as you know what you're doing. Yeah, not really a big problem. I'm just like I want to think about what is like Tome is like actually like the final version of what Rogue wanted to be, like, you know, a classic.
I know.
I mean, one of those.
Rogue is a bit different.
You know, but it's more in the sense of, you know, you have like a lot of classes. You have like, and progression is much more, you know, linear upwards. While in Kut, it's a lot of, well, what do you have at hand right now? And everything can be useful in a way. I mean, not everything, because something just, there are just some things that suck in Kut, but still, most.
What do you mean?
I want to, like, sometimes you just find a bad sword, maybe, you know, for that is low.
You find a lot of bad swords and you sell
Yeah.
them for water.
Okay, fair, but then you have more water.
Yes,
Yeah, that's good.
it's good.
And that's something, but like it's not, you know, you can really directly use it in the minute, you know, while, you know, it's better to have something like, as you said, neutron flux, which is just a liquid star that you cook with.
I cook with it. You could also throw it at people. It makes a big boom.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't though. So you cook with it, and then you have like precognition, and then you're like, "Yay! I know that it isn't bad." I'm like,
I didn't collapse yet.
so it is safe.
Or either it is safe, or you could get thrown back into a different timeline where you haven't drunk it yet.
Yes.
Cooking is like one of the most way too strong parts of the Case of Quick base system ever. If you ask me.
Doesn't really surprise me, but like cooking, I feel like cooking systems are very much in things that are, you know, I feel like cooking systems in video games are either useless or just the most important thing you should put your effort into, or one of the most parts.
I like the cooking system in Outward. Because you need it to feed yourself, and it also gives you buffs.
Yeah, I mean, Outward does a lot of mechanical parts really well, actually.
Yeah, I think it strikes a nice balance. Meanwhile, like, remember Skyrim, where the cooking system only matters if the difficulty is high enough?
Yeah,
and then you start praying to the vegetable soup?
Oh my! I think it's literally the funniest part that vegetable soup is so good actually in Skyrim, but you only notice it when you like crank it up to legendary. But legendary then breaks other parts of the game.
Yeah.
I swear that again. I said it yesterday already, but it's one of those reasons why I would say yes. I would I would unironically think a Skyrim remake wouldn't be bad. But, you know, as long as it actually fixes and expands on the RPG system. Like...
Yep. The structure magic should maybe be viable on higher difficulties and not completely stupid because it only... the damage upgrades are only additively and not multiplicative. Like every other damage increase.
Yeah. Like, I think... I know people are always thinking of like remakes and remasters, and like I would say if you remade Skyrim, you should change stuff. Like, you know, keep some key things there. I would maybe, you know, if you have like the newer technology and some better stuff, maybe rework a bit of the whole Civil War quest line so that it actually feels like a civil war.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I would definitely rework, make it so that, you know, the main story can't just be done in one go, but, you know, you have to actually level a little bit and do some stuff in the world. I would 100% rework how,
I'll stop the leveled weapon system, aka that the weapons that spawn are dependent on your level.
Absolutely.
And generally make the levels of enemies more static.
Yeah.
Maybe some can grow over time. That's fine.
There should be some wiggle room, I would say, but it should also just be like
in general, I do not want to use like. How often is like, oh, I can't go into this cave yet because if I go, the weapon I get there is weaker than what it could be. I need to reach this level first, or I'm playing on a super high difficulty and it's pretty annoying and hard to get through here, so I will somehow cheese my way there in level 1, go in there, go out, and now it's it's scaled to my level 1, and then I come back later and it's way easier. It's stupid.
Yeah, that's just like, that's very, very stupid. It's just kind of setting yourself up to just make everything unfun. And yeah, that's why I would say I would love to, quote-unquote, remake Skyrim. But not really in the full structure, but like actually more in the way of, you know, fix the RPG system to a certain degree. Because, you know, make especially the mainline quest more interesting and more integrated into the general gameplay loop. Remove fast travel. Or, you know, have fast travel literally just be the cards. Then maybe add a few, like maybe a spell that you can learn. Just make it a bit more, you know, like I would generally just make it, keep it Skyrim, but just make it more impactful and shit works.
Maybe remove the block picking minigame and exchange it
for
the Morrowind mechanic. Because, like, as the game is now, there is no reason to ever invest anything into lockpicking. Like, you don't need it.
Yeah, that's a thing. I would definitely change to some mechanics, but like, crucially, I would still keep Skyrim the way it is. It's just like I mean, I'm probably weird about that, but I do think there are really good games beneath the Bethesda structure. They just need someone to, you know, do a second pass and maybe clean some things up, and then they would be really, like, much more interesting. Like, I think to a degree you still need to watch out that you don't break the general feeling, because that's probably the biggest part I feel a lot of games always fuck up when they try to fix Skyrim, because suddenly it's just combat oriented. Like, no. Elder Scrolls games have combat, but they're not about the combat, you know? And yeah, I think there is a difference in between making combat more meaningful and exploration more meaningful and making something combat focused. Because I do think a lot of base games, base ideas of Skyrim are really good. Just the execution is a bit off. But yeah, my idea about remake Skyrim, actually remake stuff, not just you know, do the shit that Microsoft did with, ooh, we one-to-one transplanted Oblivion. Well, that's boring.
You're a lifesaver.
Da, 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 da. Ooh, nice. There we go. Wah! There's no Skyrim. It's interesting to hear that, because, like, yeah, I think Skyrim should be one of those games where, like, shouldn't everyone have a version by now?
I think there are just some people that have like 20 times Skyrim and that's used the numbers.
It's totally not me having at least 2 versions of Skyrim. Oh, there we go. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those games, I would say. I think there's a lot of stuff you can actually change. But, I mean, again, I do think it's also one of those games where you need to be very, very careful, because I do think making Skyrim quote-unquote better, you know, improving the flow and exploration of the game, is not especially, like, the hardest thing to do. But I do think the biggest problem is just like finding this universal balance, you know? Like, okay, this is probably the weirdest thing to say to me, because like when I say about, you know, improving stuff about Skyrim, I think the hardest part of it all is quite literally the fact that in their weirdness and in their simplicity, Bethesda games, at least the good ones, let me be clear here, kind of strike this very odd balance that they can be enjoyed almost universally. If you get me. Like, not that there's, like, the moment someone, you know, the moment you see someone be like, but couldn't this just be a mod? Listen, most mods are stuff like, we make, like, hunger and you know, you starve and it's, like, ultra hardcore. Like, there are people that like that kind of game, but not everyone. And I think it is way harder to pinpoint the shortcomings of a game and fine-tune the strengths than just, you know, slapping stuff onto it that just a very small amount of people actually like, because this universal likeness is, it's great. I do think that's a thing the games should keep, even if you start reworking aspects.
Let's go.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, they did still disarm it. At least my goddamn finger is starting to heal. That was kind of annoying to not Okay, browse modes. Da, 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 da. Nice. Slowly moving our way to the suppressed. Then I have all the carbines suppressed. That's neat. Well, I think that's probably another thing I always... it's at least a thing I notice about games. Like, I do think when we talk about remaking games, there's too many times this idea of, well, as you know, oh, you upgrade the technology and such. And I do think the idea of revisiting a game and changing concepts around to make it something slightly different or different is probably more interesting than, well, just the graphical update. Graphical updates are like the most uninteresting part. You know? Oi! Dipshits. Like, you know, the worst part about this is, I do think a lot of game, like the idea of a remaster in the sense of, you know, getting the tech to run again, is actually kind of relevant because there are not games that just have problems running on modern hardware. So, you know, getting shit to run again is one thing. Maybe having one or two sacrifices for that, also one thing. I absolutely hate that so many remasters nowadays just change the graphics of video games. Like... it's like, oh hey, let's make everything look lighter than before. Or, you know, let's change the color here. Or, you know, remove some stuff from the background there. Then, like... You know, there was actually, like, intent behind visuals, usually. And now... You know, they get remastered, and then sometimes it's just like... Oh yeah, we just rip out the old lighting because, you know, it's old, and we make new and soft lighting, and that's better because it's new technology. And like, no. Like, there was a reason things looked the way they did. Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah, also that some people now have problems with PS1 games, or games that want to look like PS1 games, and, you know, have that, you know, polygonal / vertex wobble on the textures.
Why have people problems with that?
Because they're like, oh, this looks ugly, it's a tech problem, and like, it's a PS1, you know, you want PS1 games, you want the wobble. That's how a PS1 game looked, period. Like, I'm sorry.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's so weird when people are like, I can't wait, you know, to play this PS1 game. And then they're like, oh no, this looks like a PS1 game. I do not even know how to answer that. And again, I do think the remake that dropped the ball the hardest, in my opinion, in recent years is Halo 2. Because nothing probably says more about the devs have no fucking clue what they're doing and just, you know, slammed in a modern light engine that... And let me be clear here. There's an irony here because, you know, Halo 2 kinda looked a bit ass in the original. So any good lighting you would slap onto the game would look good. But that is because, you know, the whole game was designed for one type of lighting that they didn't have in the end. And so, you know, everything just looks worse if you just have very, very simple lighting. But, you know, you can't put in stencil shadows. That's 10 years ago, and you can't do that.
Contact! Enemy tank!
Oh, wow. I think the enemies are currently just getting a bit crushed. I do think, though, that, you know, comments like, you know, oh no, PS1 game looks like PS1 game are probably more, you know, they're more an online phenomenon than, you know, actually reflecting anything serious. Because, let's not forget, a lot of people who play the majority of people who play games are not on the social media websites where a lot of game devs are. And you have a lot of weird people there that really want to voice their opinions. And all of those opinions are kind of trash. So, you know.
Take what you can carry!
You see what I mean, right?
What?
You kinda wanted help with talking, and every time I say something, you take like quadruple the time talking about something, and I'm like, okay, I know.
Yeah, that's a problem. Shit. We need a good topic.
You need some self-control.
That's also what we need a topic first, then I can practice self-control.
You could already. You failed.
What?
You could already. You failed.
I'm still practicing.
True.
Okay, Okay, you know what? I want to say something and I fail.
Bay. Chat.
Stop. Maybe. Fuck. What? I think you mentioned Caves of Good before. What is your impression of it? I fucking love what it does. It's unhinged. It's like... It's one of those games that just... let me put it like this. It's one of those games that doesn't give a fuck. It's like, here's a world, deal with it. And if you die, you start over and you just, you know, learn and move on. And that's cool. I can't play it. This isn't like even in a hyperbolic sense. It's just like,
If I sit you down and tell you every stream from now on is Caves of Kut and you
I could probably.
you will learn.
But I hate the control scheme on a like.
You shouldn't. It's perfect.
It's a okay. Listen, design-wise, I'm like, oh yeah, I respect the hell of that control scheme because it's all on the numpad basically.
Not all, but your movement is, yes.
So basically, you can dedicate one hand just resting on a bunch of buttons to just do a lot of things at once. That's really elegant design. It's also something I am so not used to.
I wasn't used to it as well.
Yeah,
I'm open to new things.
it feels very weird,
No.
especially since I am not right-handed. So there is an extra barrier for me mentally.
Also not right-handed.
You have a bit more control in your right hand though than me.
I have no control in either of my hands.
It's more like you actually learned to write with your right hand.
Yes.
I never did.
But it's pretty much all I do with my right hand.
The only thing I actually trained my right hand to do is the mouse. Like that is in, but that's basically everything, and everything else is just like internal screaming.
What is everything else?
You know, if it's suddenly like, oh, precisely learn how to press buttons to control a character in a virtual world.
I do it with my left and my right hand since I can't use the claw.
I think you missed my point. Also, I think I just blocked a sniper shot by throwing out my med back.
Nice. Because there should be more than video games that your hands can do. Tell me something.
My right hand really can't do a lot.
Then tell me what your left hand can do.
Oh, everything.
No, you need to actually.
Okay,
Call
I can type. I can.
You do that with your left and your right hand.
I cut with it.
I cut with both.
I cannot cut with my right hand. It has to be the left.
Oh, I just cut until my hand starts cramping, and then I switch, and then I switch.
My hand never cramps.
See?
Skill issue?
So, you could actually learn it with your right hand.
But it works perfectly fine with my left. Actually, way better than you, because yours is cramping, mine is not.
See, that's the point. So you can learn with your right hand to move with the numpad. But the question was your impressions of Caves of Kut.
It's great. Like, I think Caves of Kut is probably, like, it.
The
I think
survival aspects could be a bit stronger, I think. But otherwise,
I think Caves of Kut is to a degree what a lot of people want from games like Skyrim, ironically. Like, actually packaged up in a game that does not look at all like that. You know, it's to a degree it is the Morrowind structure. You start at one end and you go to, you know, the other side of the map, where it gets progressively more hard and harder to progress. But also in a weird way, like, you know, a lot of regions in Vardenfell, like Morrowind, were just it was like kind of alien. Like Morrowind is not a typical fantasy setting. You had like scripts and such. It's like there's a lot of weird shit, and Caves of Kut is that, but more. And there's a lot of annoying shit in it as well, but
you know, you're not really having an impression if you do not go into specifics.
For example, Twinning Lampreys is a great example of amazing enemy design because if you kill one, they actually
The other one
the other one-
wants the dead
Yeah.
one. Yes.
which is kind of amazing. Because it just means you actually have to find ways so that you have to find ways to kill them basically at the same time or prevent someone from respawning the other one. You know, the weird and less realistic geometry is better for the world. It is! Also, hey, Stargazing Pineapple. It's one of those... I mean, that's one of those strengths of CUD, because, like, it's not ASCII. It's, you know, basically miniature ASCII-like sprites. And they do a lot of really cool shit with it, actually. Like, for example, I think one of the impressions that I realized that art style, like this graphic design of Caves of Kut, is special, and they know it. Is, you know, when you go into like the first town, Joppa, and there is a guy screaming. And why do you know that he's screaming? Well, the letters just move over the screen and like bolt. They just go wah. It's like, yeah. They just visually abstracted a scream. That's amazing. Exclusive photography of the Exmira. I do not know what you mean with that. Yeah. I adore Caves of Kut as a game because, yeah, it really is just one of those games that just takes its ideas of, it's an open world game, it's a very complex and weird RPG system, like, you know, either you're mutant or truekin, and both can just become the weirdest shit. Like, mutants mutate and just become weirder. And truekin, well, you basically find bionic parts and cybernetic parts, and you start replacing your body with them for money. Until you have maybe tank treads for feet. And it's cool. I have... Oh god, Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's a game we did play and we had fun, but we never finished, I think.
Yeah. Gameplay gets a bit repetitive.
Yeah, that was definitely a problem of the game. It did so many good things with it, actually.
I simply do not like the idea of positioning.
Yeah.
If you're technically still turn-based. But the game is still good. Like, I like it. It's the only Xenoblade game, actually, that I had any interest in ever playing, so...
Yeah. I mean, I did offer someone who's like a big Xenoblade fan, like, hey, if you give me the games, I play them on stream. No questions asked. I work my way through them. But that hasn't manifested yet, but, yeah. Yeah, Caves of Kut is like... It's just really, really fun, because it is just like, here's this world, there's a lot of weird shit in it, here's a gigantic toolbox, figure it out yourself.
Or die.
Or die. And then start again, and figure it out again.
That's something I did. It's very fun.
Yeah, the roguelike element actually makes it more interesting, because I do think...
Lots of them, like Toe and Case of Could give you the option to play like more save scummy like.
Yeah.
Which I guess some people prefer. I think it's boring and actually counterproductive to the gameplay. You will never have such an explosive and fun ending than like being in a cave deep underground, encountering magma crabs for your first time, realizing, fuck, I can't hurt them. Trying out your new space-time vortex that sucks you up, finding yourself in a river in a jungle, walking a few steps until you find you're surrounded by madpoles that chew off your limbs and then bleeding out.
Yep.
In like, if I wouldn't play on the roguelike mode setting, whatever, I would have just reloaded from the last save point and moved on like it never happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also part of the game that works surprisingly well, because like, I know a lot of people are like, oh no, it's a roguelike, and you know, but I do think roguelike is not only the intended experience. You will cut yourself off from something that you will not know is there if you start playing with, you know, with saves on, and that you don't die permanently. Because the thing about Case of Could is that, yeah, the deaths are explosive and fast. Like, there's a lot of times, moments where you're just like, oh god, what just happened? Right? But there's also the thing that, well, you are back really fast. You can save your character, like the design, you can just save it and just reload. You can very fast make a new concept and build it. And also, the entry to a Case of Could game is fast. You're pretty fast doing your first, you know, dungeons, your first loot, your first side quests. And no matter where you go, like, I know people are like, I mean, there's this thing that people basically get baited into Red Rock.
Yes.
Where you're not supposed to go, but even then, you can go to Red Rock, and you can get loot there, and it's still good.
Or die.
Yeah. Like,
I think the only question after a certain amount of time playing the game is, am I strong enough for Golgotha? Yes, no, Glovetrot. Glovetrot. Doesn't matter, you can't speak anyway.
yeah. And there your tongue is not useful anymore.
Yeah.
Whee!
Because it starts getting dry and cracky, and your water source you drink of gets contaminated with Glovetrot as well, until your tongue falls off. So either don't contract it, don't let it incubate if you have high disease resistance, heal it before your tongue falls off, heal it after your tongue falls off.
Yeah.
Then you still need to regenerate it. Because, well, you can't speak anymore. And so you have also charisma malus for trading and stuff. Because I guess people are just dicks. In Case of Could. I think, oh, you can't speak, I give you worse prices.
I think it's more in the case of, yeah, but it's like, oh, I think it's more like haggling, like haggle. It's more like, oh yeah, I would take 30 coins for that.
Water, yes.
30 water, 2 liters of water for that.
There are no liters in Case of Could, they are drums. 2
drums of water for that. That means we're in a grain. Oh, you're so excited about that. Let me just take it right here. You agreed. Yeah, it's a
It's nice. Like, there are not many diseases in case of Kut, but they can be really debilitating.
so like I do think that I'm just fascinated by Kut. I think that's the right word I was looking for. I'm very fascinated by Caves of Kut. It is just a game that says, here's a world, explore it. And then it also says, here's a gigantic toolbox of weird things. You find out what you want to use against a lot of enemies that are just weird. Like, again, twinning lampreys, you need to kill them at the same time. Madpoles, they just make your life hell.
Yeah, I do not go into jungle rivers, like, as a general rule. I just don't.
There are oozes that can just be any ooze. There's a snail that just sucks up shitty liquid from the ground and spews it in your face.
Memory eaters, you forget rumors.
You forget rumors. Just a few beings that, like, if you kill one, the other ones get stronger. But they are just 9.
Well, that and their offspring.
Yeah. And you have the whole, how's it called? And then the Snapjaws with a shotgun.
They're more rare than
They
earlier
used to be.
versions, but
But by the way, everyone, I make some tea. I will be right back. Can you maybe play a bit on my end?
I can try.
I just don't.
So, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know the controls. But I'm playing so that Nya doesn't get out of the game. I do not like this setup.
Forces have the upper hand. Let's regroup. Enemies are attacking objective Bravo.
Huh. Camping works.
Hostiles now hold more objectives. Out. Frag out!
No. And that's why I'm bad at shooter.
Supporting the attack.
But we have that, okay. And it's something. Okay, they're even more unaware than I am.
Need a medic!
Is this a medic? Should I turn around and maybe do something? Or don't? No. Okay.
Enemy attack confirmed at Charlie. Stay with me! Come on! We have Bravo under attack.
Come on.
Still winning the fight. Hit back and take control.
Yeah, I should be back soon. Tritt.
Attack support needed on most objectives.
Oh, you won.
We're targeting objective Delta. We're moving on objective Echo.
Smart player. Hey ho.
Are you winning, girlfriend?
I captured 2 sectors.
Hmm.
And then I died.
Actually, it's points in it.
Capture points,
Flags.
flags, flags, credits.
I don't think it's credits.
We are moving on Delta. We've lost control of Bravo.
Just kind of realized.
I controlled arbitrary coordinates for a certain amount of time.
Virtual coordinates.
They're also arbitrary.
I heard UMOS for a moment. What is UMOS?
I didn't pay enough attention. The angle of your keyboard is really icky. Sorry,
Sorry.
chat.
I really love my keyboard angle though.
Yeah, and it's perfect for you.
Yes. You know, a slightly angular keyboard means pro gamer.
I like mine flat.
Move to attack the marked objective.
Also, I realized while I was gone, you actually unlocked something for me.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. A nice guy. Looks like a big moth.
Oh, cool.
Ah.
What did I unlock then?
You unlocked the supply pouch for me. Which
How?
is,
What did I do?
you just gathered points. I just needed to reach a certain amount of points.
Okay.
No worries about that, you know?
Oh, we were at Case of Could, right?
I think so.
Yeah, other fun stuff you can do is if you find a sprayer brain can,
Oh, yeah.
you can spray, well, life into inanimate objects. So you find a really hard to crack door. Then you spray a brain onto it. And then if you're an Esper, you dominate it and kill your body in the same turn. And so you're stuck as a door. And then you have a really high armor value.
That's it's one of those weird ass tools I talked about that you can just do.
Yeah. The problem is corrosive gas. Corrosive gas is the death of you, dead and drills. More things with digging claws. So you have all the absurd advantages of being a living inanimate object you would think you would have, but you would also have the problems of it.
Yeah.
And the always present great equalizer: explosions. Explosions kill everything.
True.
Hostiles are attacking objective Charlie.
Damn. Ah, that's the thing. It's just this, you know, again, Caves of Good's just this gigantic tool set of a game. And then there's just weird shit you can fight against, and it's great. And yeah, there's nothing like Caves of Good, I would say.
Other fun things you can find is Schrödinger's pages, which are either specific or non-specific, and you basically quantum entangle yourself with the past, where you may or may not have existed, and make it so that a faction likes you more.
That's always like kind of funny to do. You just change the past with pages. It's so minuscule, but also just kind of so on point for Caves of Good, you know?
Yeah, especially since there's a faction and reputation system. If you kill legendaries of certain factions, like of factions in general, that faction will hate you. If they don't hate you that much and you can somehow pacify them, you can make the water ritual with them. And that means they like you a lot more. You can also make them certain traits with them, which also makes the faction like you a lot more.
Yeah.
And then there's the universal, if you kill someone who you made a water ritual with, that everybody hates you.
Yeah.
Because that's just improper. You can kill anybody you want, but if you kill the person you exchanged spit with, or oil, or whatever,
Or whatever.
yeah,
That's wonderful to put it.
different people use different liquids. Okay, you cannot you cannot demand from a rustling to exchange spit. They don't produce any. They use oil.
Oh,
That's Caves of Good. Lovely.
that's Caves of Good. It's just a fascinating game, really. Also, by the way, for a reason, you know, when I looked at the chat, I thought there was Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate written. I was like, you were talking about Monster Hunter, but I was wrong.
Huh? What?
I just misread the chat. I thought you were talking about Monster Hunter.
But nobody in chat is
Yeah,
Monster Hunter. Why?
I don't know. I literally just misread it.
Why are you screaming so much?
You know, because I said it for the third time that I misread something in chat, and you're like, why? I'm like, because I misread it.
Sorry, I'm a bit slow right now.
Makes me think about the fact that I actually kind of thought about actually maybe streaming with you that game for once.
Which game?
Generations Ultimate. Because we went through I guess at the beginning of the year we did play Freedom Unite. And I would really like to play Generations Ultimate maybe, but
Maybe. I would really like it. Maybe.
okay, you know what? I would love to play it with you. And like on a regular basis, getting through G rank, all that stuff.
Well, right now we have EDF. I don't know how close we are to playing through it, but
Your lifesaver.
That's a good question.
plus it's one of those games where I would have to sit down on the couch.
We've begun our assault on Charlie.
Honestly, I doubt that. But like the expansion usually is announced like at the beginning of of the second year, and then they go and make like the.
I wouldn't expect many expansions that soon, simply because, well, we already knew when the game started that things like Cerellos and Lagiacos was intended to be in the base game.
Yeah. Like if it's delayed, it's
They took like months to catch up with where they wanted to be at start.
Take what you can
Yeah.
carry.
Omega is
yeah.
basically useless for anything with greatsword, I think.
And even then, it's not the best greatsword build because like all Omega builds are basically built around multiplayer, and that's it. Like that's the thing, you know. Since title update 1, so Zoshia and Arch-Tempered Raidao, no weapon has actually really gotten any upgrade to their best weapon / armor build. And I know people are like, oh, but you could technically collect all of them, but then you would also already be done or try around, but that would just, you know, hurt yourself. And it's just the game is in a weird state. Like it's just not.
I mean, the mechanics changes are weird. The endgame weapons are RNG based.
Yeah,
Like
like
the worst kind of RNG based. I think that the talismans, they also want to do RNG based now.
they are already in a game and they're RNG based.
Yeah,
Like
sorry.
basically every endgame system is a slot machine and a really bad one compared to, you know, previous game slot machines even. And then the irony is that the game is just piss easy. Like the problem with an expansion is people are like, oh, an expansion would fix things, and they forget that, for example, the problems of World and Rise were usually like stuff like monster variety and a bit of, you know, armor variety, area variety. They usually missed a bit of content and a better structure. And I do think, you know, Rise ironically less than World, but even then I would say World just, you know, the moment they added just a lot of monsters on top and expanded what the armors can do, you actually ended up with a really good game. Similar with Rise, Sunbreak just added like a lot of interesting armor sets, a lot more monsters. Yeah, the endgame was grindy as fuck technically, but it had some good ideas in there.
Which monster are we talking about?
Rise.
Rise, yeah, the endgame was really shit.
But you could just play with friends until the guild hall.
Until?
You could just play through the guild hall with friends and don't worry. And
Which we did.
yeah, and then you look at Wilds, and the problem is just okay, where to start even. First of all, an expansion would, and I need to make very clear, they would need to actually fix the base game progression, because the base game progression is bad. Everyone who disagrees with that is just fucking gaslighting themselves at this point, because why do you want to have a Monster Hunter game where most of the time you do not hunt monsters but walk behind NPCs and listen to very, very useless just talking points?
Also, it kind of contradicts its core theme of, like, ecological preservation. Like, so many times, like, first of all, yeah, okay, we know some monsters in there, of course, okay? Monsters, like, just because the hunters and the society of the hunters didn't go there doesn't mean monsters don't go there. Fine. But then we have new monsters we've never seen before that we somehow already know, which is a bit weird and a wasted opportunity. And then we just randomly, even before we have assessed the ecosystem at all, like the first expedition is like, yeah, just kill it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. then the native people have lived with monsters for over 1,000 years, are completely inept at everything.
Oh, that is just...
Like,
Oh,
it's
there's a lot of
weird.
racism there. Yes.
Unintentional racism, but still. It's just plain weird.
Like, again, the thing...
And everybody who's now more like who likes this game more do not like what comes with the expansion, because what comes with the expansion in the end, it's a higher difficulty. And right now, no matter how difficult the fight is, you can just bring your Farcaster, go back to camp, get your stuff again, restock, and that's
Yeah.
that. And that's the one of the things besides time that are the only levers left.
Yeah.
So either they go back to the standard monster hunting system, you get what you get, everything else you gather, which is way more interesting. But they won't do it because they didn't do it in World. They will go to time.
Yeah.
And suddenly people who never cared about upgrading their armor because it's easy enough and the game is fine, that's
Yeah.
the sentiment I get a lot of times, will find themselves like, oh wait, I need to finish this fight in 10-20 minutes. I can't do that. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's this irony about... there's this very big irony, I would say, that... that this is already happening, what we're talking about. Like, every quote-unquote harder monster, like Apex monster that was released, is a DPS check. Like, oh, you can quote-unquote beat it, but here's the thing. If you have an actually optimized armor set, that means, you know, crit damage and all that, it's literally just optimized around damage. That's the one thing you build in Wilds. Okay? Everything else, you're making it artificially harder for yourself. That's a key thing we need to keep in mind. If someone says, but with my build, if your build sucks, you should not talk about this topic. Okay? Because
or more, it's not applicable.
it's not applicable, yeah. It's just this thing that the moment you have a good build, Apexes and also Sophia die in like 10 to maybe 15 minutes, depending on how it goes. They're not hard. But if you don't have a good armor set, well, suddenly it takes long and everyone's like, oh, look how strong this was. No, you have shit armor, you have shit weapon, you failed the DPS check.
Well, technically everything is a bit DPS check,
Like,
but
The first title update already introduced DPS checks.
everything is a DPS check.
Yeah, but in the sense of, you know, you could only really beat Tsushia if you have actually an upgraded weapon with enough damage.
Well, at least somewhat. There's no strict time limit with Sophia.
Tsushia is 30 minutes.
See? Ages.
Yeah, but like if you don't have it, we saw it. Like we played with one person that hasn't had updated her weapon set back then, and literally the damage was missing from the scaling, and it took just way longer.
22 minutes or something?
Yeah, which is just that's the thing. They just bloat the health and then are like, look, the monster's hard now, which is no, it isn't. It's like the cheapest method of pretending you have hard monsters. And again, the one point I want to say is like, no, like there was no change in what's the best weapon / armor for like the absolute majority of weapons since title update 1, which is over a year now.
Like, well,
But almost a year?
World had a lot more diversity in possible builds, I think.
Yeah, like there were a few builds that were like definitely stronger, but like for example, at least with Greatsword, you could go hobo or triple or true charge.
No, you couldn't. Not base game.
Not true charge. I mean,
Yeah, you mean crit draw.
crit draw.
But you
crit
could-
draw was there.
Crit draw wasn't in the base game.
What?
Grid Draw wasn't in the base game.
Not in the base game, but they added it world.
Yeah, but we're talking about Wilds, and Wilds doesn't.
It is doesn't. Yeah, well, it was world. And talked about world.
Also in Worlds isn't.
Okay, yeah, but
We're
Wild is
talking
just
about base game.
okay. Yeah, Wilds is just basically very much there's one gameplay style they want you to do, and that's it. It's one type of gameplay, on a game that is just not challenging. That has. It's just.
I think the monster anime, like, it's a. I don't know if it's a small thing or actually way bigger. But if you've played all the Monster Hunters, even just Rise and well, just the previous ones, the monster animation is in Wilds and the hitboxes are pretty shit.
Oh yeah.
They just feel off, and I cannot really describe why, because I'm not well versed with animation and stuff.
I wish I could tell you that actually. I'm still
Like I can point out certain things, like remember the explosion monkey, how long some attacks have wind up for no reason at all.
yeah. That's an odd choice. It's just like so long.
So many monsters.
But I feel like
Oof Duna, like jumps basically like the slope of a pyramid, very slowly forward, turns, and suddenly there's a hurt box. Like, there shouldn't be any hurt box. The thing doesn't hurt me at all.
yeah.
I don't know. Something is off. And I think we both have speculated already that those monsters, the apex predators of Wilds, are pretty much a filler for something that they actually wanted to do.
That could be. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what the
I mean, I said, oh, weather is irrelevant because you just skip time until you have the right weather and whatever. It's like,
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
It's like not even doing the same as 2 or Frontier, and it's just there's a lot I would say that. But we're just going over stuff again that we talked about again in Wilds. It's just
True.
I do think Wilds to actually have an expansion that is good and not just more disappointment. And like I've talked with a bunch of people about it, and they're all like, yeah, Wilds is just you know. An expansion would need to do so much more than probably most people expect.
I mean, how does it go for Wilds right now?
Shockingly good, but I feel like it's a lot of people that do not want to actually admit that Wilds is bad.
That choice? Yes.
11,000 people. I know, it's weird.
11,000?
Playing right now.
I'm playing right now, yeah, but
What's the number for world?
what are yellow?
6,000. That's not that different. When the difference is like roughly 4,000 people, that's not a lot. That's literally not a lot.
The all-time peak was way higher in Wilds. So like lots of people bought Wilds, but
And how's Rise going right now? Because I know Capcom was like, oh yeah, Rise unexpectedly suddenly saw a huge surge in sales. It's going really strong.
Rise only has 2,600 right now.
Interesting. That might be on other platforms then.
That could very well be. We only have Steam charts. To,
Yeah, that's a problem.
Look stuff up.
I do think
Contact, enemy tank!
no, you can't knife me. well.
Like,
I think just, you know, the fact that they so haphazardly announced Gokmasios, which should be a big announcement, because like I am interested in Gokmasios. We will probably stream, you know, Gokmasios when it's out, because this is like the big one. This is probably going to be the siege, the big monster that, you know, took almost a year to arrive. It's gonna be the one of, can we actually maybe have a new armor set even?
that would be nice.
But like, again, I do not know what they would do with an expansion.
Well, normally it's new monsters, high difficulty, and then slowly adding the endgame bosses. That's the usual formula.
I think, you know what the funniest bit is?
No?
I feel like their main problem, and I mean this unironically, by the way, is to actually design a new area and decide where to add it to the world map.
Yeah,
I think that is actually their main problem.
I would say they just settle for an icon on the map.
That might
it-
actually...
Keep it at the front.
Oh, you know what? Again, I think the biggest thing an expansion could do to make the game run better and to speed up everything, remove the open world.
Which part?
Everything.
That's not a
Like the
definition.
fact that all the areas are loaded at the same time
Oh, they are.
and they're connected. Yes,
As far as I know, they're not loaded at the same time.
to a degree, though. But if you would,
Reader, you know that from.
I read that from people that looked at the code.
Okay, because I just remember, because I'm playing it down at the PS5.
Oh, yeah,
I tried actually traveling between areas on a sacred, and my sacred literally stopped because the area was.
oh yeah,
loaded.
they need to load in more stuff. But there's also just the fact that everything, to a degree, the logic is still there in the background.
Ah, okay.
So if they actually just be like, fuck it, we're taking all those mechanics out, we're just isolating the areas, and we just, you know, put stuff in again as we should, you know, normally, the game would just be better. But I
Would run
don't think
better.
they,
Yeah.
I don't think they will do that.
I don't think anyone is really using the whole walking to another map. It's pretty useless since they have fast travel from.
I mean, that's probably the biggest offense in my opinion. If you make a Monster Hunter game with an open world and you do not want people to actually go around in that open world, then why?
Why do you have it? Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a very... now we ranted a bit about Monster Hunter again.
We had originally, before the first gameplay dropped, really high expectations for this game, like fun theories, interesting conversations, and I think the game has still potential, but
Take what you can carry.
overall, the direction in which they go gameplay wise is just that.
I mean, the biggest change they would need to do in the expansion is to make the monster fights actually hard.
Point one.
And
Yes.
that's gonna be...
Point two. No restocking at base camp.
Yeah.
And base camp is all you have on the mission. That's the next thing. At least half inventory space. That's some baseline stuff you should do.
Grab what you can.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah. I do think the expansion will probably just take longer because as said, they didn't even finish Wilds. It was rushed. Like, if they announced I'm going to be honest with you here. If Capcom announces an expansion... Ah, fuck, I realized one thing. They might announce one at the Game Awards. Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah, probably.
We will watch those. I still need to check when they are. Can you maybe Google that? Game Awards 2025? Then we know. We usually stream those with people, so we will do that again this year, as you know us. December 11. When is that?
Isn't that when Gogmasius comes out?
Yeah. That could be the case. Oh well, we have stuff to do there. Or we do it, we wait for it the next day. And I guess,
No,
next-
December 16th.
so afterwards. Okay, they probably have, Gogmasius trailer then at the Game Awards. And maybe even maybe a tease for, the Here's the thing. I will say, if they just have any hint of we are working on an expansion at the Game Awards, expect the worst. By the way, when is the 11th? Can you maybe open the calendar for a bit, please? That is in 2 weeks on a Thursday. Oh, it should be doable. That's fine. I get some people together. Maybe we'll play some Vermintide again in the before that.
You really?
I wanted to play Vermintide while there's double XP, and people prohibit me from enjoying Vermintide while there's double XP. I am pissed. Just saying.
I get you.
But yeah, I'd say if they actually start announcing an expansion at the Game Awards or early next year, expect the worst. I'm just straight up saying that, because in every other...
Worst case scenario, it comes out in the last quarter.
Oh, that's usually when they always came out. But here are a few things I want to point out. First off, expansions, they usually started having a small team work on them, especially since World, or also the basically definitive editions they had, the Ultimate editions. Almost when the game came out. That's nothing new. But World and even Rise were games where they kind of understood their code base, their game, So they actually had the ability to, due to the modularity of the game, that they can just design content and then plug it in. Relatively seamless.
They can't do that here.
First of all, they can't do that here. If they now want to be like, oh, because in World, doing Hoarfrost Reach and guiding lands and stuff, Hoarfrost Reach especially, they were like, this is the biggest area we ever made in Monster Hunter. At least in World. Which was not hard because, they did the tech, they had experience, they knew how it ran, they could optimize for that. Wilds? Yeah, imagine if they now come around and say, here's a bigger area.
More loading?
Yeah.
I mean, they have so many problems. Like, I don't know if they changed it, but as far as I know, the performance only got worse.
Yeah.
At least for a certain subset of people. Like the whole, there is as much polygons in some stones than in monsters. It's like, the fuck, Capcom? Why?
Yeah.
The game doesn't even look better than World in most instances anyway.
Yeah, I feel like the performance updates will also just not be that great.
I could be, I don't know.
I mean, that would probably be the biggest thing, but yeah. I think just when it comes to Monster Hunter Wilds, if I'm honest, if they announce an expansion soonish, again, expect the worst, because as we talked about, tech problems, they need to, fix up their engine fork, they need to find ways to attach it to the main game, They need to just, get the tech working, and they need to do a lot of, stuff that is not as easy.
And
But also, crucially, if you have a game where, compared to the previous games, all your post-game content is stuff that was already in the base game, it was cut from the base game.
most of it, at least.
Most of it, I think, except Gog Marzios. Except even Gog Marzios had hints. They wanted to have, I think, what was the crap again? Shengao Ren.
Yeah.
That was actually the plan, and they changed it late in development, which was probably for the best. Also probably because of, tech problems. So trust me, the siege in the expansion will be Shengao Ren, and they bring back the crabs, probably. They probably just had crab problems.
Yeah.
The thing is just,
Crabs bring problems to developers and players alike.
yeah.
Contact! Enemy!
My biggest fear is still that they have shown several times now that they, design-wise, prefer the easy cop-out. And with that, I mean specifically the weapons. Because the weapons are, as we said, a stupid RNG system. But more importantly, they're at best marginal better than what you could craft otherwise. So they're just a time sink to be a time sink. Like, I hate the whole RNG system, but the fact that there isn't even a meaningful power increase feels more insulting.
Yeah. I think, yeah, but I want to specify one more thing, by the way.
Also, did you notice that you're not talking to me anymore?
Oh,
You're
yeah,
just
yes.
rambling on?
No. I want to point one thing out about the whole expansion. If they start an expansion now, it's going to also be rushed if they want. And the irony is, on paper, I think Capcom has an incentive to do that because favoritism for Wilds dropped off. Like, you need to keep in mind, 11,000 people are playing on Steam. They have good numbers on Steam. They have horrible sales numbers. Like, again, the sales numbers of Wilds plummeted so hard after launch and have, from what I know, never recovered. That Capcom has all the incentives to get sales back up. And the incentives are expansion. I'm very sorry to say that, but that's the thing. Capcom kind of needs the expansion to hit.
Well, I tried to find different, similar time frames right now. So, how long is Wilds out?
I think February.
See, March.
Oh, March was it? Yeah.
March 25. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 to 10 months. 2, 3. Monster Hunter World was at 17.5 millions, and then at 20 at 10 months with Iceborne. Okay?
Yeah.
Wild so far has sold 10.7 million.
It's so
So
really...
roughly half, depending on which month you're looking to.
Yeah.
But World also had it had a better start. It had a better working combat system,
Come on!
and it had the whole expansion. thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the thing about World is also
Roughly at this time frame. Yeah.
no World had a expansion 1 year later, but yeah.
Yes, 1 year later, but they started in January.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I would say World has the upside of I mean Wild had the upside of everyone giving it very good press due to World.
And the Iceborne Masters Edition was apparently already in October 2021.
Oh wow.
Oh, no. And I counted it. They don't have it. My bad. They don't have it in exact months. I just assumed it. Okay, yeah, between 10 and 13 million. So, roughly the same, actually.
Okay.
Roughly the same. Yeah. I read that wrong.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'd still say it just had like a high initial burst and then it dropped off, which is like not good. So yeah,
World had similar sales over the same time.
yeah,
but it
but
just got more.
but from what we also know, what Capcom said, it was more like
Yeah.
Wild sold a lot in the beginning, then fell off. Meanwhile, World steadily sold a lot over a long time. Whoa!
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, they have all the incentives to push out an expansion, and the thing is,
Here, from April to June, they sold around 160,000. But from end of June to September, only 160k copies. Before that, they sold like 400, nearly 500,000. Ironically, people are pretty charitable to Wilds.
I mean, I think the Steam reviews are still shit,
Oh, let's see.
except if they started deleting them.
See?
Oh yeah, they started deleting them. They started
so?
deleting them 100%. You do not hit mostly negative and then suddenly go back to, it's mostly positive and stuff again. Capcom 100% when no one looked hit the please delete because you can actually go and tell Steam you where mass there was like a mass downvote campaign against you. And if you just say if you do that when no one is looking, you can just get your reviews back up basically. So yeah, no, I don't trust that really.
Yeah, for some reason, because we know it was mostly negative. But according to the chart, it was always roughly the same until November, where the positive reviews just jumped through the roof.
That definitely doesn't stink like fixing. No.
I don't know. Not that well versed in that.
It feels off because usually that only comes
Plus,
with
they got
campaigns.
even more greedy with microtransactions and shit.
Oh yeah,
Just cosmetic stuff.
it's
But still, it affects the people who, like, really you should not be affecting. They have it already worse enough. Apparently, I haven't looked in the game and actually counted them all up. But some people claim that there are like several hundreds of dollars worth of cosmetics in there
Not surprising.
that you can buy in emotes.
So, yeah. Again, the thing is just... any expansion they would announce in a shorter term is either going to be rushed or, and I'm going to say the thing that probably no one wants to hear, there's gonna be Gen AI bullshit. And probably not even because, you know, they're like, you know, super greedy. It's more like, imagine you barely finished a game and brought it out of the door, and then suddenly you hear, yeah, now please make in a short time span an expansion. It's either going to be pretty mid, or, you know, you're like, fuck,
The enemy has taken Delta.
how can I just produce some bullshit?
We hold a majority of objectives. Keep it up and we'll take ground.
Like, for example, you know, oh shit, I need ideas for an area. So, just hit image generation and just look for the best option, and then, you know, you suddenly have a bit of reference material and can get to work.
I kind of doubted how much advertisement they made for their own team, like going to different places to get inspiration, but
They haven't done that in a while. They did that for 4.
for World as well.
Yeah, but the irony is, it was the same places.
Yeah.
So they basically just reused... Listen, I'm not even mad at the fact that the world is basically just 4 but pretty. Like, a lot of concepts from 4, but, you know, in a pretty way.
I have to say I like the 4 maps more, to some degree.
They're great. Like, sorry, 4 maps are amazing. I'm still pissed they kind of cut out, like, 2 out of Gen Ultimate. I still think the biggest blunder they had was to never make Monster Hunter Generations Turbo Ultimate. Again, Turbo Editions, where are they, Capcom? Come up, you did them. You did them once, do them again. And, you know, actually have, like, the areas, all the areas from the 3rd generation, the missing areas from, you know, 4th, and the areas from 1st generation, and maybe also just, you know, do a bit of visual work on them and the 2nd generation maps? And a few missing monsters. Like Gravius.
Gravius is...
Not in Generations Ultimate.
Yeah, I don't think it's in there.
It's not in there, I think. You could look up, but I don't think it's in there, actually.
That would be very embarrassing if I looked that up now.
Again, it's one of those games where, yeah, you can have too much content to a degree, some say, but
There is
it's
not
fine.
too much content in a Monster Hunter. Have you seen Frontier?
Okay, yeah, fair point. And I do think Generations actually managed to have, like, a good system to have, you know...
No, there is actually Gravius in there.
Oh, Gravius is in there.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have the mission Gravierendes Problem.
Thank you, German.
Hey, thank you.
I mean, it would probably be grave problem in English, so...
Yeah. Or Erzspeise.
Banger. Anyway, yeah, I'm just saying, be very wary if they announce an expansion now. Just, like, maybe they should, like, you know what? Actually, maybe Capcom should just do it. Just fucking go and announce the expansion. Be like, hell yeah. Everyone will just probably be like, oh, cool. Capcom's doing an expansion. It will fix the game, and then it comes out, and it's gonna be pretty mediocre. At best. And then everyone will just be like, so that happened.
Let's move.
we ranted a lot. Hope that was at least enjoyable to hear our thoughts on that whole matter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you want to talk about something else?
I'm thinking about it. But yeah, by the way, I just want to reiterate, it wouldn't surprise me that, if they're forced to rush something out, that there will be some Gen AI bullshit left in the game.
Actually, I think for the franchise, they should loudly proclaim to use Gen AI. Just so that this title will burn Capcom so much that they hopefully get their shit together.
Honestly, I hate the fact I hate to say that Capcom, I don't think has announced anything in terms of Gen AI yet, so they're
I know.
they're actually like pretty solid devs so far, but yeah.
But they're getting greedier and greedier.
I hate the fact that that's the
Even-
case.
Even with like the new Resident Evils, for example, yeah? Good games. But there are microtransactions in them now.
Yeah. It's bullshit.
Sometimes even microtransactions where you think they are a rip-off.
What is going on with the...
Like, remember, I think, the second last Resident Evil? The one with the originally faceless dad?
Wow, why is my...
No, not the faceless dad.
Uh,
No, what was it? Also, I'm talking,
sorry.
so stop talking about Battlefield. Don't want to be a Battlefield.
Okay, sorry.
Try to help me figure out which Resident Evil I mean.
You mean 4 Remake.
Yes. The one where you could buy shit you could, like, get just by playing the game. And then not even as bad rate or anything. And it would be totally useless. I think you can explain more.
Basically, there are enough ways to achieve what they do. Yeah, basically, the ticket is just something that basically allows you to bypass an upgrade for a weapon that you can just get it earlier, which is like it just saves you time in the village where you usually spend the most time setting up your run. You know, except for the fact that there is a pistol run, which is really fucking effective, and you do not need any of that.
Any of what?
Any of the tickets to just upgrade the gun and be, you know, you need any of the tickets to actually have a usable gun against enemies and bosses.
Yeah. Or Dragon's Dogma 2. You can buy certain goods and I think even warp stones. Do you need them if you properly ration shit? No, never.
Not even that. The thing about warp stones is just they're useless. Like, you think you need to buy them because, like, oh, I can warp around the map. No, you need to actually have an item to warp to one of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the point is, there is enough already in the game because those games are designed from the looks of it without those microtransactions in mind. But Capcom just shoves them in there.
Yeah, they do. Because they know they can prey on a few people, not figuring that out. The situation with Wilds does remind me of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, especially with the bad performance and how its expansion fixed it, but only in the expansion area. That could actually be the case, but I would say it will probably be worse. Like,
How?
because again, it depends on how long the expansion will take until it's out. And then it really is just a case of learn from that by putting less wild Pokemon into the world. That's a choice, I would say.
That's so weird. It's like Game Freak. Oh, we want a 3D open world. Okay, then make barriers there so that there are actual routes, and maybe make like different routes where your starter matters in the beginning. Like you have your plant and your water starter, and the plant could probably go into more in the water area and in the mountains or something. Water could also go in the mountains. Yeah, maybe the whole fire, plant, water trifecta. Maybe we should get different starters. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. How about Steel Fairy Dragon? Is that a trifecta? I
what-
don't remember Pokemon types that.
Probably be one, yeah, actually. But the bigger thing I would point out is the fact that just on a very basic level, I do think just that Pokemon also has just a problem similar to Monster Hunter, that they try to change something to be open world because probably people on the internet said you should make it open world because that is the logical next step, instead of refining what their original systems were. Because I don't know, original Monster Hunter games, by having loading zones, were able to display more variety in their environments, get more creative with their layouts, were able to abstract size of maps, and also have stuff like shortcuts. Like, remember how the famous shortcut in second generation Desert that you can just walk out of your camp, or you can drop down the well and just skip half the map? That's gone. Swimming into the underwater cave in Flooded Forest in third generation and coming out at the bottom. Not anymore. Can't do that in Rise because it's flat now. It's just they did things in the sense of, well, it's the next logical tech step, but as I keep saying, old concepts have value, and they're not just like it's the same thing with Resident Evil, when people were like, oh, but tank controls were because of the time. Yes, but also tank controls actually contributed so heavily to the flow of the game that they basically had to redesign the way and how you play Resident Evil, or that basically Resident Evil 4 remake, yes, you can shoot while walking, but you do not want to shoot while walking. So that is actually the funniest difference, because like you could have just stayed with the combat system after 5 and no one would have, like, some people would have bitched, no worries, but you could have still had this. Fun fact, I really like the combat system in Resident Evil 4. I would say it's probably one of the best in the series, but the more I think about it, a 5 is better. I'm sorry to say that, but Resident Evil 5 is better
Then
than Resident Evil 4 Remake. Resident Evil 6 even has a pretty good combat system. But yeah, I would say original Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5 still the best in the series. They just have it, Same, with Monster Hunter. They had a lot of really weird shit in the game. Like, for example, Generations, they had a map where the highest point, quote unquote, was basically Mount Everest to the extreme. Like, it was above the clouds. It touched the stars. That's where, the flagship Elder Dragon nested. Which is something where you think, that's absurd. How could you... Loading times. You can fake being almost in orbit thanks to loading times. Stuff like that.
convincingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I do think they could maybe have bigger areas, or make them actually, there is more to do inside of the arenas and stuff, but I do think loading times are good and they would make for a better game, but that's something they really need to rediscover, I would say. Similarly, with Pokemon, everyone said they should just go open world because that is what Pokemon should be.
Well, open world in concept is fine, but the thing that made Pokemon interesting was the concept of routes.
Let me be more clear here, I would say. Everyone says they want open world Pokemon. You do not want open world Pokemon.
I disagree. Simply because, as I've said already, the concept of routes. You can make an open world, but if you have an open world where you can go everywhere you want without obstruction, it's always shit. No matter.
Oh yeah, this is like the dumbest idea to do because like I think the only games that ever made that to a degree fun are Bethesda games. But then again, do you want your Pokemon game to be a Bethesda game?
Maybe.
And even then, by the way, keep in mind the moment one dev took that Bethesda game loop that Bethesda really worked hard on and just refined it a bit, maybe made it a bit more like, oh yeah, you could take the straight route, or you know, going all around the map on your back is actually safe, or do you want to take the road with some chest hair? That's followed New Vegas, and everyone loves that game for good reasons.
I do not like the metaphor of chest hair. Chest hair is
It's a meme.
I don't like chest hair. Chest hair is icky.
Okay, yeah, but it's from Futurama because it's like, no, that's a
Then
tactic.
Futurama is also icky because it has chest
No,
hair.
it's a dumb character that said, no, that's a tactic with some chest hair. Because it's a stupid... I know. I'm sorry, chest hair is bad. I know.
At least for me it's bad.
I know. Yeah. But like, yeah. The thing that made Pokemon good was the routes. And I think a lot of people forgot that.
And you could actually expand on that with an open world.
Listen. Gen 3 to 5 were, 1 to 5 were not beloved because, you know, because people back then loved boring designed linear stuff. No, it was like a route in, for example, let's say 3rd gen still has the best world design, and 4th gen is like very short after, but it did a lot of things different. 3rd gen is basically you start relatively close to the center, and then you loop to the left, loop down, loop back to the center, go up, loop back down, go back to where you were. Then it just
you don't need to describe a linear gaming experience
basically
to me.
it
Because my whole point is that you can expand on it.
yeah.
You could make let the player decide which of those routes they can take all of them. Which do they want to tackle?
Yeah. You could have like a few options. But you know what's also a big thing, but I think a lot of people forget about Pokemon games? They're Metroids.
To some degree. But that's specifically what I would kind of change up a bit, because lore-wise, it is established that, how would I call it in English? Gyms, for some reason.
Gyms, yeah, I know.
Weird shit, English Pokemon.
What is the literal translation?
I don't
of
care.
Yeah.
They use Pokemon depending on how many badges you have. So why do we need to fight them in like fixed order? I think in Scarlet and Violet you could already do that, but since you could just run around and there weren't really any obstacles, it was kind of a moot point.
Yeah, I mean, you know what the weirdest part about that is? That was in one of the Pokemon manga, which is official. So, I feel like one mangaka had a good idea and put it in. Everyone online agreed with it, but apparently no one at Game Freak ever saw that panel, which would just be literally the solution to their design problems. As like, depending on how many badges you have, the gym leaders would use different Pokemon at different level. It just solves the whole problem of non-linearity, and yet Scarlet and Violet have fixed teams with fixed levels. So if you go, yeah, they have.
Okay.
So if you go out to the left and to the right, the first ones you run into are on your level. But if you go back and do them on the other side, you just run over them because they're piss easy. Because now, instead of having, the old game where it's basically you have a more linear progression, so you hit the gyms at very specific points, so it's roughly a solid challenge.
Except in 2.
Except there, you now have basically 2 level 1 gyms, 2 level 2 gyms, 2 level 3 gyms, and 2 level 4 gyms. So what are we doing here, actually?
Yeah. The only problem you have left is like trainers. If you want trainers to be actual obstacles on the routes,
You need to restrict the routes a little bit.
you need to restrict the routes, and either you let them scale with you, which doesn't make much sense,
Yeah,
or they're just not some are just not interested in you because you have low level Pokemon. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I think also the big thing that made the route system so enjoyable in old Pokemon games, which is, in Gen 1, 2, but mostly in 3, I would say, and 4. Again, if you first get guided through it on a relatively linear path and you experience a few vistas and it's nice. And then you gain stuff like Surfer, for example. And suddenly you can go to a completely different area of the route and find different Pokemon, a different area. And suddenly it's
Fishing
just
rods
like,
and Surfer are always like the first things I'm happy about in a good Pokemon game, simply because I get more water Pokemon and I like water Pokemon.
yeah. And then there's the thing of like, oh, hey, here's this one route in 3 where you can't actually ride your bike because the grass is extra tall and it rains. But then there are parts where you can actually, with a very specific bike, because you can switch your bikes, you can actually explore further there. So there's like a whole different side sections depending on where you actually go, and you need to find your own route. And it's really cool because
The
there's
idea is
just
good.
yeah. And let's not forget
I
how
think switching bikes was a bit of a pain, if I remember
it
correctly.
was.
But you could fix that.
You know how they did that in oh, you didn't switch bikes. I think you pressed a button and switched the mode.
Okay, then it's fine.
Yeah.
I would still like you need to go back to a town or something, and then just find a spot, and then you change tires or something.
Yeah. Like, I do think the big part is just Pokemon had a good thing running, but instead of refining that, like, I think the downfall happened for Pokemon the moment they stopped being about the games and they stopped being about the brand. Because, again,
They started being.
they started being about the brand. Because now it's like, no matter, because Game Freak wants to have still control of their games, and I respect that. Like, every time I look into a Pokemon game, there is clearly effort in the writing. There's, like, you know that. A Pokemon game comes out and there's going to be 1 or 2 characters the internet will obsess over, and then you play it and you're like, I totally get why the internet obsesses over them. Like, for example,
Scarlet and Violet was streamer girl and normal worker guy, right?
oh yeah, and Gusha. Those were like the trifecta of, yeah, people were very normal for them. And you know what? I get it. I mean, streamer girl the least, but I still get it. Normal guy, I totally agree why, I totally understand why everyone was just like, he was just relatable to so many people. Like, I do think at that point, the Pokemon company were, just like, they just throw him in, and they know a lot of people who play their games are adults now, and so a lot of them were just like, I totally get this guy. And again, there is a lot of effort in the game, but the problem is, I think since especially the 5th generation, where they, could still do Black and White 2, and, expand on ideas and basically make a better version, it's now like, oh, the next set of cards has to come up, Pokemon trading cards. Which, by the way, makes the Pokemon company fucking money. Like, banger money. that has to come out at a specific date so that the new games better come out at the same pace. New merch should also roll out at the same pace. They have a very clear book on what has to release at which point. And the game just dies with that. Because Game Freak doesn't want to scale up as much as other companies. The tech now is like, the games have to be bigger and nicer looking. And I would say Scarlet and Violet to a degree are games where they did something, not because they wanted it to do that, but because everyone expected them to do that and they had no idea of their own what they would like to do.
I know what I would want them to do. Make a new generation in the long run. Take your time with it. No, not necessarily many new Pokemon or any at all. You could just cut it out. Because for example, I like my water Pokemon. Still use a balanced team, but I like my water Pokemon. And I sometimes find it really fun if you just use one type of Pokemon. It's like role play run, if you want to call it that. And as you know, me and we often do rival playthroughs where we fight each other after every gym.
Yeah.
I can't do that because there are never enough fire Pokemon in there.
Yeah.
Imagine a Pokemon game where there would be enough of them that you could just become a Type X trainer if you wanted to.
Yeah, I would say they basically can do two types of Pokemon games going forward that will probably help the series regain its strength. Both should go back to routes and have the old game systems, but either it's one where they have a new region, but every Pokemon in the region is just an existing Pokemon, but they cram so many in them that you have like the biggest variety to choose from. It's just literally only known Pokemon, even the starters are known, but it's like the best of everything. Or they go back to what they did with Gen 5. New region, 152 new Pokemon, it's only new ones. From start to finish, it's one coherent experience. And then, you can maybe get the old ones.
Technically, I would argue you would need more new Pokemon in such a game because there are so many more types.
Yeah. But like
how many types have we added? How is Unlicht called in
Dark.
English? Dark.
It's literally just Dark.
Dark, Fairy, Steel. So we have at least 3 more. Or Pokemon that share a type with one of those 3. And even back then, we didn't have enough fire Pokemon.
Yeah.
There are never enough fire Pokemon. What the fuck, Game Freak?
Honestly, it would be something if they sat down and just be like 200 new Pokemon and, make a good selection of fire Pokemon. And I'd say that those are the 2 games that would probably get the series back on track. Either one where it's like literally the best of the best from previous generations, or make it as before. One new generation, everything is new. But right now, I don't think they will ever get out of that because I think Game Freak is too stubborn to actually just... Let's just be real here. Game Freak should become Call of Duty. And I mean that in the positive sense, like in the sense of Activision realized back in the day, people want variations of Call of Duty. So they put 2 studios on it so they could all have different ideas and have at least enough time to make a game. Game Freak needs 2 studios. And 2 studios that do different ideas of Pokemon. Not in the sense that they have a core that, that is Pokemon, but then go wild. And everything else needs to, but they need to have 2 studios so they, considering a Pokemon game comes out every 2 years, they would have 4 years to develop them. Only that is the only way they could actually fix their problems, I would say. Just throw more people at it, actually. But then, find people that can make a good Pokemon game. And you understand why they probably are not doing it right now. Because maybe that train has left the station a long time ago. Anyway, I hope you all had some fun today talking with us here.
I think we had fun talking about design again.
Oh yeah, it was a good talk for once.
Yes, because that's something that interests us. You know what I think? Why you had problems talking to me on stream a lot of times?
Yes?
Because I think you were either oversaturated or afraid to oversaturate the stream with too much design talk.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's my impression, at least.
That's probably right. I like talking about design though.
Me too. And if people are bored, they will let us know, or probably just leave the stream, and then we also know.
Yeah. Like that's what I mean, Jun. Like, yeah, the performance is better by having less wild Pokemon, which is like, if you want to have wild Pokemon be visible in the open world, then you want to have a bunch of them in there, not less. But, oh well. See you all tomorrow for, well, the first of it is the first Advent. See you this evening for the first day of Pain Mess. You know what I mean. Bye.